All right, so your focus question for today. How do I use the inverse of sine, cosine, tangent to find angle measures? In right triangles. So on Monday you wrote the ratios, the sine, cosine, tangent ratios. Yesterday you used sine, cosine, and tangent to find side lengths. Today you're going to use the inverse of sine, cosine, and tangent to find angle measures. So get you a right triangle on your paper. You can be on page 572 if you want, but the information you're about to get is going to be a lot better on the wall than it is in that book. You're going to want the acronym written on your paper. And let's label this ABC. And put your 90-degree angle at C. Today what's going to happen is you're going to be given two sides of the triangle, and you're going to be asked to find the angle measures, and then eventually find the angle measures and the third side. So let's say that you're given triangle ABC, and it's got a side over here of 8, and they give you the hypotenuse of 17. They ask you to find the measure of angle B. They can word it two ways. They can ask you to find one angle measure, all right? Find the measure of angle B, or they could put a variable in there. Say find the value of x, which is the same thing as angle B. Or they could tell you to solve the right triangle. And if they tell you to solve the right triangle means find the measure of angle B, find the measure of angle A, and find the third side, the missing side. Okay? Those are the three things that you're going to get asked. Either to find an angle based on the vertex, they're going to put a variable in the angle and ask you to find it, or they're going to say solve the triangle. Solve the triangle means list every piece of information related to that triangle. So if you're going to find the measure of angle B, you look at angle B and you ask yourself, you say self, what information is given in relation to angle B? And you answer yourself, well, they're giving me the opposite side and the hypotenuse. If they're giving me the opposite and the hypotenuse, I know I'm going to be using some version of sine. But since I'm finding an angle measure, I'm going to be using sine to the -1 power. So it's this simple, guys. You write sine -1 parentheses, you list the opposite side of the angle over the hypotenuse. Alright, so the measure of angle B is going to be equal to sine -1, 8 over 17. Now, in your calculator, you type 8 fraction bar 17, and then second sine, and you should get 28.07. Did anybody not get that? All right, try it again. 8 fraction, do you see where the fraction button is? Look to the left of number 1, the ABC button. So type 8, fraction button 17. So you have 8/17 on your screen. And then second sine. Better? Okay. So this angle right here is 28.07. All right? Now, if that angle is 28.07, what does angle B and angle A have to add up to? Angle B and angle A have to add up to 90, don't they? Because angle C is already 90. So take 90 minus 2807. And you should get 6193. So angle A is 61.93 degrees. Yes?
How did you get to 61.93?
Angle A and angle B have to add up to 90 because angle A, B, and C have to add up to 180.
Oh.
Angle C is already 90, or half of that. Now, to finish this, if you have to find side CB, there's 2 ways to do that, isn't there? What's one way to do it? Very good, the Pythagorean theorem. What's another way to do it? What we did yesterday, sine, cosine, tangent. So if you want to find side CB, okay, call it a variable if you want. And then use either the 28.07 or use the 61.93 angle. So let's use the 2807. In relation to the 2807, you can use either the 8 or the 17. It still doesn't matter. I'm going to use the 8. So that's opposite and adjacent. So tan. So we're going to go tan 28.07 equals opposite over adjacent. Now, I can't remember if I told you guys yesterday or if it was the class after you guys. Guys, if you just take this tan 2807 and you put it over 1, you've got a proportion now, don't you? Do you guys, everybody remembers how to solve a proportion? You crisscross multiply. So if you multiply tan 28.07 times x, you get tan 28.07x, don't you? And 1 times 8 is 8. Now, you've got to solve for x, so if you divide both sides by whatever's in front of the variable, I'm not going to write all that here because it's just going to end up canceling out, but you're going to divide by tan 28.07. So in your calculator, it's going to be 8 divided by 28.07 tan equal sign, and your x is going to equal 15. Say again?
I said 0.001.
Okay. I've got mine set to round 2 decimal places. Any questions? All right, let's do one more. Right triangle, X, Y, Z. Angle Y is your 90. And you're given X to Y is 25. And X to Z is 30. And let's find the measure of angle X. The measure of angle X. Alright, so All right, if we're going to find the measure of angle x right here, the measure of angle x is going to be equal to, in relation to angle x, we've got adjacent and hypotenuse. Adjacent and hypotenuse is cosine. So the measure of angle x is equal to cosine -1. Adjacent is 25 and hypotenuse is 30. So 25 over 30, second cosine. $33.56. Is that what you guys got? Okay. If you had to find angle Z, you would subtract 33.56 from 90. If you had to find side YX or Y to Z, you could use sine, cosine, or tangent, or you can use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Anybody have any questions?